Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hello. How are you guys doing? How was your day? How was yesterday? Hope you guys had a lovely day, a productive day. Mine was productive, beautiful. What about yours? How was your day? And how's the learning coming? How's the learning coming? Have you started exploring with Figma? I know you're given an assignment. Have you started working on it? Hello, everybody. Fortunately, I will not be able to mention anybody's name or mention names, but I see you guys. Thank you very much. Good evening. It's another day of learning. I'm excited to be here. Okay. How are you guys doing? How's the learning been coming from your end? Share your experience. Share your experience. Oh, sorry about that. You should try. Find time, please. All this will help you. So we're not just learning, we have to as well practice it. So we're not just learning, we have to practice. That's how you get better at what you do. You practice and you practice and you practice. So experts you see out there, they are like they still practice, like because you have to be good at if you want to be good at something, you keep doing it all over and over again. Kinda. And from there, as you're doing it, you get to get better. So I want you guys to take note of something. So when you start designing officially, keep your first design after designing first design. Now, then when you now maybe 1 year try to redesign the same design, you see that there's a change, and that's the power of consistency. That's the power of practicing. So I would like to say that don't just learn because you want to mark attendance, or just after learning you just close your laptop or your phone and just go like that. Take it up again, challenge yourself to go more, do more research, do more research. Try to read more about every topic that we teach you. Read more, revise, practice. Pray God will help every one of us. So let's get into today's topic. So I want us to uh before I start talking about today's topic, I want us to what's the word? Talk about what we learned. Like, what was your learning? What was your key takeaways? Yeah, what was your key takeaways from last week? Sorry, on Monday's class. Monday, yes, we started. What was your key takeaway for Monday's class? So I'm looking forward to your responses. I'm looking forward to it. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, consistency and discipline. Yes, that is it. You have to discipline, and thank God I saw that some of you already mentioned you need accountability partner. That's it. Accountability partner. You need someone that can work with you, that believe that will help you, that you guys can go together to achieve your goal. Okay, so what was what did we talk about on Monday? What was your key takeaways? I'm looking forward to your responses before we dive into today's topic. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward. Okay, design system helps us. Okay, thank you, Tosin. Design system help us. That's our key takeaway. That design system helps us save time and money. Joshua Blessing says teamwork. Ebonloa says design system is like a truth. Aurelua says design system provides direction, scalability. Adejoke says that she learns that a design system brings about consistency in a design. Aware Hope says that design system makes work easier. Thank you. Nandi Mary says that design system helps keep a um, product look and feel. Adeboye Adeboye says that design system helps to achieve consistency in design. Yes. Akinyode Anne says that she learns about elements of a design system basically. Esther says that it saves time. Design system basically saves time and gives chance for collaboration. That's collaborative work. It makes work easier. Um, Adejoke says that it makes the design less confusing to user. Also learns the difference between style guide and design system. Thank you. Okay. Oluwatoyin says that design system provides a good template to follow when preparing to improve on its existing design. It saves money and time. It saves time. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. It shows like he has learned like a lot of things. Okay, so let's dive into this topic because we have like a very long way to go, and I will try my best to also like examples, make it very simple. As God to help me. So let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about design component. What are the things that entails? What are the things that you need to deliver in a design system, basically? So we're going to be looking at that. So let's get started. Yes, today's agenda, we've done a recap. We're talking about design system components. We'll talk about test security in a design system, then example of design system. I'm hoping that in our next class, we'll do like a live practical session, right? So let's see where we end today's class. So if whatever we end, we'll continue and also put in a live practical class. So if you have not downloaded Figma, please try to download Figma. Thank you. So design system components. So studio, can you remove my picture or somewhere to put somewhere? Maybe somewhere up or so. Thank you. So one of the design components that you are going to be working on basically, or that you will see, is color palettes. For those that actually use makeup, let me use that example. So you know that on your eyeshadow, there are different kind of color palettes for makeup. That's the is it eyeshadow they call it? Yes, eyeshadow. Yes. So there's one that I know that it's just nude colors, and there are ones that they have both colors, or ones you see some that have like just any color, different color. So you get to see different colors. If you some right to have a shade, then lighter shade of that same color, darker shade, like different shade of that particular color. For instance, nude. The nude could have different colors, or pink. Pink could have like lighter shade, like deeper. The pink can be normal. Then you have like a lighter shade, something very light. Then you see like a darker of that pink and all that, right? So a color palette in a design system is actually like a set of specific colors that are consistent across a product. For instance, I was saying that green, most of the products you get to see that green is like a success message, like it's like a success message, or you get to see red. Most times people use red as like an error message, basically, or that a transaction is failed if you're using like a fintech app, right? Then sometimes you see like a kind of yellowish color, or depending on the brand of that company you're working with, and you get to see that information color. You even get to see it across other products or different organization, right? So color palette in the design system, it's a set of specific colors or colors that are used consistently across a product. It usually contains main colors. Like for a button, you get to see, for instance, piggy bank, carry-wise, their primary color is blue. Then you get to see their call to action. That's so anytime you hear call to action, just know it's a button. Call to action, CTA. So in case you get to see that, so you get to see like their color. Then if you're using like a web version, right, you get to, I don't know if you notice that when you over like this, when your cursor, that's your mouse and this thing arrow is on it, you see like a different color, right? Or maybe a kind of lighter or darker, or kind of a color that is different from what is currently showing the active color. Or sometimes notice, I don't know if you have noticed some app, if you are filling a form, Now, if you try to an empty state of a form, for instance, maybe the form is asking for you to um, enter your name, your your name, your first name, your last name, your email address, or whatever thing, then the button can now look inactive, maybe like a kind of gray or a kind of graded color that doesn't look like the main primary color. Then when you now click on a particular text field, that button, or when you enter all the required details on that form, the button becomes active. So you also use colors to differentiate your buttons, the color of your buttons. Now you also have that, like your secondary buttons, your neutral tones, maybe colors for your text. Most people use for text, basically maybe normal text, maybe one A, 1A, 1A, 1A. That's like a code, right? Or maybe a color of a text, depending. Look at on my slide, for instance. So you can see that on my slide, there's pink header, then the text is white. So if I have like a design system or probably a style guide, I can change this header, which is that has design system component, to green. I can change it to red or whatever color, right? So basically it just shows like a collection of different color, and they are tailored towards different needs in your design, in what you want to build or what product you want to build. So consistency in colors helps strengthen the brand identity and makes the product visually appealing. I wish I could do like a demo and see how, but because I don't want us to go and get distracted. So let's just look at it. So imagine that this um my header, the design system component, the pink background is green. Let's use this that for instance. Then the background, that is the background that has the text or that carries the text, is what color should we use? Yellow. Then the text color is black. Please, how do you think as a designer now? Let's think as a designer. How will you think the color will look? How will it, when you see such, how will you feel? Like, how does it look? How will you, like, will you be interested? Let's say for instance you just see like a website that has almost 10 colors on, not, it's not even, now it's not that they mix the color, because there's a part where you can mix color, there's a way you can mix color to give it like a kind of very nice gradient, right? So imagine that please, someone is saying they can't see my slide. Please, let's be together. Let's be together. Oh, please see my slide in Jesus' name. So imagine that we now have a website that has, the background is green, the header is purple, the text color is yellow, then some of the text is red. Please, how do you think that will look? It will look terrible. And that's why your design system, your color palette is very important. Selection of colors. There are some colors that already work that you don't need to even bother about, right? But because of your brand color, for instance, imagine that a color, a brand, for instance, a company, their brand color is red. Now, do you think that that brand or that product, if they want to build any product, do you think that they will make their field red? What do you think about it? That imagine, oh, you stumble upon a website, then you now see that the website has red, like that's a brand color. Then you now maybe you want to perform a transaction, you now get to see that this failed and it's now red. Please, what do you think will happen? Like, what would be your own thoughts? Like, are these people playing? Like, how will your primary color? So you get all those things up, and that's why before you make decision on certain things, you need to do some things. You need to follow due processes, because you are, like I used to say, you're not designing for yourself. So you need to, your colors will also help your product look visually appealing. It will, one of the things I mentioned that a good product to look like will be what? Usable, useful, enjoyable. So if they look at your design and they get to see that, oh, what is this? Like, it can even, and one thing I would say is that your UI would keep your what will give room for your users to want to dive in more into your product or your website or your mobile app. That's like the starting point. That's like the look and feel. That's like your brand. The way a front desk person is it's like the first touch up or the first person that anybody will get to see when they enter the company, right? Just that's the way UI is. The first thing they get to see, that's how they will now decide that I want to look more. So don't let us waste. Yes, it will look boring and unattractive. So example, a bank app that might use blue as their primary color for buttons, white for background and gray for text, or black. This keeps the brand consistent throughout the app. Usage of color is very important. We like very, very important. There's something that I want you to go and read something. Psychology of colors. Psychology of colors. It tells you the different meaning of colors. It gives you like meanings of colors. It tells you, okay, purple is royalty, and when you use blue, blue is for trust and kind of things. So even the red that people think that it connotes something. Red. Why do you think that Mr. Biggs, Chicken Republic, they use red? Red signifies hunger, right? So I want you to go and read about it, the book. If you want to go, maybe YouTube or anything, maybe I will check later and drop maybe on the Telegram group, Psychology of Colors, because you are going to use colors a lot, and you are a product designer, so you must be able to mix the right colors and know colors that you are supposed to use. So let's move to the next slide. Now, can you see my color palette? I have orange, deep orange, yellow, and they have their own what's it, color code basically. So don't worry, as we dive into as we learn more about Figma, you get to understand all this. Okay, now another design component is you can just check psychology of colors on Google. Basically, just check psychology of colors, then it give you different options basically. So typography, the font, the sizes and styles used across the product, the fonts. Now you typing is a particular font. If you notice that, if you look at other people's chart, you will notice that their name is in gray. Their name looks kind of a bit graded out, kind of. Then the response or whatever they write in the chat is now like more bolder. So all those things matter. Typography, the font they are using. There's a particular font that there's a particular font that is being used by YouTube. There's a particular font used by Creator Hub. There's a particular font used by Ladies in Tech. Companies have their own primary or their own typography. Different companies have it, right? So your typography ensures your headings, your body text, and captions are clear and consistent, making it easier for users to read. Even the fact that your chats are a lot, I can read your name from because my screen is a bit far from me, but I can let me see without my glasses. I can still see it. Like, do you get? So it's very important that when you are building, what you are building is accessible to all. Like, people can see, they can read it. So imagine somebody that uses glasses and someone that doesn't use glasses, or someone that is long-sighted, all those things you have to consider. Or people that they have color blindness or whatever. So it's very important that all your texts are clear, they are consistent, and it's easy for you to read. Now, example, a blog might use Open Sans Bold for headings and Open Sans, depending on what they want. They can say their headings, for instance, your blog. Okay, Miriam, it is not repetitive. Anyways, we are going deeper because you are going to do an assignment. You are going to work on a style guide, so that's why I'm taking my time. We just trashed a bit of it last week, just like talk about it. But now we're going deeper and trying to show you examples of it. So, like, we are showing you what a design system entails. Last week was more of style guide, but this time I want to dive in more into design system. Okay, let's move. So a blog can use open sans bold for headings, and their regular can be a maybe a open sans regular. So open sans is a what? A font. Now the now the style is either bold, is either regular, semi bold, or whatever styles, depending on what is available basically. With all this, it helps the blog or people that want to read the blog, it helps them to be able to read easily, and also it helps their website or the blog to look professional. Now let me quickly look at it. Look at, can you see different types of typography? And this is like a typography, but this is like different type of style, right? Different type of style. You can see bold, you can see the size is as well. You can see the sizes are different, right? There are different sizes, there are different styles, and though they still maintain the some of them are like majorly are, most of them are black, while some are gray, like there's a kind of gray in some. So like there's this size depending on what you're working on. So now let's move to the next one, buttons. Now buttons are a key part of a design system. They let users interact with the interface and do things like submit form. I was using an example of, if you want to fill a form, for instance, you know that there's this action, call to action, that's a CTA, that after you fill the form, there's now there's a call to action that you have to click to be able to submit the form. So let's say, for instance, your buttons as well. So again, your buttons has like guidelines and states. Yes, you can, for instance, if you are filling a form, for instance, you've not filled it, maybe an empty state, right? You could see that a button is on, it has a particular color. Now when you fill the form or when you over on it, it has different colors. So there are states for your buttons. There's the over state, there's the pressed state or click state, there's the disabled state or inactive, then there's the active state as well, right? So for example, on a food delivery app, if you use a food delivery app, maybe what are the new food delivery app we have? I don't know why none is coming to my head right now. It's been a long time I used Jumia food anyways, but there's this recent one. Let's say any Jumia food, add to cart, there's a button that after you global, yeah, thank you, global. So after you've like select, maybe you want to buy food from a particular restaurant, maybe from the place, maybe from Mega Chicken, Chicken Republic, or whatever. You've selected, oh, this is where I want to go to. This is, you enter at what you want to buy, right? You select the amount. After selecting the amount, like when I mean amount, like the quantity of that item you want, then you see a button that says add to cart, right? You click on it, and when you click on it, then it goes, it takes you to another page where you, then like that, like that, like that. So buttons are, they allow users, your users, to interact with the interface, to do things, to get to their goal, to perform actions, right? They can also use a button to go from one page to another, like that. So the next one is, can you see the button? We have different states. You can see a primary button, we have like a secondary button, we have outline button, different kind of buttons. Another thing I would say you should read, material.io. You get to see different kind of button and how you can use this different kind of button. Please, someone should remind me on the group, maybe tonight or tomorrow, to send this, all these things I'm talking about, material.io and all that. I need you to read material.io. It's very important for you to understand different things. It's not just button anyway. Okay, because there are actually rules that you should follow. You don't just design anyhow, or design because I feel that this is how it should be. There are rules that you follow. Yes, it doesn't block your creativity, right? But you still have to follow certain rules, which is very, very important. Another thing is the text input. Text input are fields where users can type in information. Like I was saying, their names, you can type in your name, you can select your country, depending on whatever. You can enter your name, enter your email, enter your password, like type. You can either use your phone to type your name, or use your laptop to type in whatever request or requirement that is required of you on that website that you want to use. So they are essential for things like filling out form or searching for something online. You want to search for something online. Text field also, you have to impute. You have to impute. So for example, when using a mobile banking app, you might see text input field where you enter the account number. You know, when you're using your, maybe your OPay, your PalmPay, your Kuda, whatever, they will ask you enter your account number or type in the amount you want to transfer to. All those things. And as far as you're entering something, you're typing. And somehow people have made it even easier, that it gives you prompts. For instance, you want to, if you have typed before, I don't know if you have noticed that, if you have typed before, maybe you've typed Folashade before somewhere, right? There's a way that it syncs on your phone, that when you are typing on something, it gives you Folashade as an option, so it's easy for you to just click on it. So there are different gestures and all that, so it's very important that all these things, we know them and we understand how it works and how to make the life of the user better. So can you see we have different buttons, different type of buttons. There are different type of buttons, different types of buttons. Okay, another one is checkbox and radio button. Now, checkbox allows users to select one or more options from a list. Now, if you have a lot of options, for instance, you have a lot of options, or probably you have options that you want, maybe like 3 options, let's say. Another thing why I said you should read Material.io. Now, Material.io gives you guidelines on using a checkbox. Material.io gives you guidelines on using radio button. It gives you guidelines on using drop downs, right? So that's why I'm mentioning all of this, so that we don't design like on your own and just design based on what you think. There are principles, there are things that actually currently work, and it does not stop you from doing your research, right? But I'm just saying that all this, there are things that have made your life easy. So that you start cracking your head that how does checkbox work? You can just go to Material. They will give you instances on how to use it. So it's very important, and that's why I said someone should remind me. Okay. So for example, in a fintech app or a mobile app, when setting up notification, you might click a checkbox. I don't know if you have noticed a checkbox to receive you might click a checkbox to receive what? Alerts. Or there's maybe on your settings, there are some things that they'll ask you to, or your phone, for instance, they might say you click on some things to make some things work, or you need to select more options. Maybe in a form, for instance, they ask you select all that applies. Maybe they ask you a question and they ask you to select all that applies, then you tick and tick and tick and tick that, those tick boxes, right? Another thing is radio button. Now for radio button, you can only select one thing. I know that you'll be familiar with radio button, especially that you have used your Google form. Those that did their survey on questionnaire, basically on Google form, you'd have seen the option where you told your users or the people that would interact with the form, yes, Google form, to click select one. So they are able to only select one option from a group, just like our Slido, where you get to select one option. Now, example is when you are choosing an account type, e.g., savings or whatever account in a banking app. Your radio button helps you select just one. Either you select your account is a savings account or a current account or whatever account it is. So it helps you. Radio button helps your users to be able to select one option. Okay, now look at this. There's an option. This is like a payment method. So or yes, this person wants to pay with Visa card or MasterCard or pay PalmPay. This user can only select one. So if you want your user to have multiple selection, you cannot use a a radio button. You get to use. So you can see that there are two different things. Checkbox is different from radio button. So checkbox, check. Just use the word check, like when you check something, like when you mark something. So it's like you have your user can have different options to select from. While the radio button, your user can just select just one. They are entitled. So if you're asking a question or you're designing something and you want your users to select multiple choices, you cannot use radio button. But if you want to make sure that your users should select a thing from the three options, basically, you use a radio button. Okay. Now the next slide is a toggle. So a toggle is a switch. So there are some website that you can toggle between dark mode and light mode. There are some websites like that you can toggle between. I'm trying to think of a website that I don't know why all this is, but it's fine. So you can toggle, or even toggle between countries, maybe Nigeria, or maybe they just have for Nigeria and Ghana. There's a way you can toggle. Yes, you can toggle all that. So a toggle is a switch that allows users to turn a setting on or off, similarly to flipping a light. Just the way you can turn on, turn off a light. It's commonly used for quick changes between two states, like enabling or disabling a feature. Example: in a fintech app, a toggle might be used to turn on or off notifications for transactions. If the toggle is switched on, you will get alert, but if it is off, the notifications are disabled. Abiodun, he said you still do not get the distinction between checkbox and radio button. Checkbox are used when you want your user to select multiple choices from what you are asking them to do. For instance, you are asking them that what is, let's say, what is UI design? Then you give them options. Maybe you have like three similar options or three right options, and you have other ones that they think you're just trying to get, okay, what are your own opinions? Or let me use another example. Maybe for instance, I asked that what can I use now? I don't know why. I don't know what example. I'm trying to get an example. Okay, let's say for instance, you want your user to be able to select many options. For instance, maybe you log into a website, right? Or you log into a tool basically that you want to use. And on that, they ask you that, okay, what do you want to use this tool for, or this design tool for, or whatever thing you are doing? What do you want to use it for? Then they not ask that, okay, well, maybe one of the option is for designing, another option is to teach how to design, number three maybe for freelancing and all that. And to your user like can select all. They can decide that they want to select all. So you're not going to use check boxes for one option. Maybe they need to pick one option, though sometimes it can happen. But if it's a time that you need your users to just make an option, a choice, a radio button is the best option. That's it. But if you want them to be able to, on the same question, you want them to be able to use different, you want them to be able to select more options from that question, then you can use a checkbox. Do you understand? Please let me know if you understand. It's very, thank you. Video quiz is a radio button. Yes. Miriam says that with checkbox you can make multiple options, but with a radio button only one option. That's correct, Miriam. That's right. Thank you. So this is like a toggle. You can see you can see the part that is graded out, you can see the part that is active. So one side is graded out, that is maybe you turn on something. Then one side is graded out, that is you off, maybe you turn off something. Then the next one is what? Green. That means it's active basically. You You can use it for state like active or inactive, or active disabled or enabled, something like that. All these things I know that you would have seen them similarly on the apps that you use. So JS, do you know that on WhatsApp you can also you can also have like one selection. You can enable your settings to be for your users to be able to select one, while you can also enable them to select more options basically. So let's look at drop down now. Drop down is a list of options that appear when you click or tap on it. It helps users choose one option from a set of choices. Now this is now it's kind of similar with what's it with radio button, but radio button has limitation. You cannot There's a number of, if you want to use the radio button, there's a number of options that you can give to your user, but drop down can carry a lot. So for instance, for drop down, you can use drop down to maybe for country, selection of countries, selection of states, or options that are a lot, or your list is very much. So instead of you putting that the whole list on your design, you could just hide it with a drop down and just tell them that select an option or select your best choice or whatever thing you want to select. Then they click on it. When they click on it, they see a lot of options and they select the option, sorry. So a drop down is a list of options that appears when you click on it or you tap on it. It helps you to choose one option from a set of choices. And that's why I said that this drop down, it helps your interface to look very clean, because you cannot imagine you have 300 lists. Do you want to use a radio button for that? That means you have to put everything on, and there's a way you can even you can't put everything on your screen. It's going to look, imagine you want to design something very simple, and or maybe you want to just design something, or maybe imagine your form field, for instance. Your form field, you want to fill something, or you want your user to fill something. Then you ask them what's their first name, what's their last name, what's their state. Then on the state, you now want to list all the states in Nigeria. That's going to be a lot. Like, it's going to occupy space. It's just like a waste of space. So the best option for you to use at that scenario is to use a drop down. So for example that I used here, in a fintech app, when you are selecting your country or currency type, you might click on a drop down menu. The list of available countries or currency will appear, and you can select the one that you need. So that's it. So drop down makes your design more cleaner. And that's why I was saying that material IO, because material IO will tell you that this is the number of options you can design with a radio button. So radio button has limitation, but you can use drop down for a lot, like a set of choice. No matter how much it is, you can use a drop down to just select it. You can use it in place of a radio button if your options are not much. But if you have like 3 options, you don't need to use drop down now. If you have 3 options, just use your radio button. Let them select from the 3 options, instead of them needing to, because if you want to use the drop down, you have to click from it, then now select. So if you have like 3 options, you can just use a radio button. But if you have more options, that there is a lot, and you don't want to occupy space or take space from your design, just use a drop down. I hope that is clear. Okay, the next one is, can you see the drop down? You can see the state where it is, where a user is asked to, okay, select what you want to select. Then there's an over state as well, and then the look when it's selected. So this is like a drop down. You would have seen it. Disappearing messages on WhatsApp is a radio button. I don't understand that. Check boxes are used when you want your user to select multiple choices, not just one. So you want your user should be able to select maybe 2 more option choices, or 3 or 4 or whatever. That's when you use So it's like for multiple selections. So thank you. So cards are rectangular containers used to display related information in a visual, organized way. They often include things like images, text and button, and help group content in an easy to read format. So instead of having everything on your screen, there's a way you can categorize your stuff. You can categorize the design to make it easier for your users to read. Now, for instance, let's see a fintech app or a mobile app, banking app. Basically, you get to see a card for each uh, bank account. For instance, maybe if you have different bank accounts, or let's use, I don't know if you have used piggy bank. If you use piggy bank very well, or carrywise, on your card side, you get to see. For me, I have like maybe 4 cards, or I think 3 or so, because one, some expired and all that. There are sections where I put my card. When I mean card, it doesn't necessarily have to be the ATM card kind of feel. Let me show you something. So it could be something like this. This is a card. Now, instead of this designer just putting getting started with crypto and put it on, he decided to use a card, and with that card he was able to categorize. He was able to put, okay, getting started with crypto. He gave it another color. Then he was able to add an illustration. Sorry, he was able to now put under like a subtext that this is a 1 minute read, right? So card helps you to organize your designs. When I mean card, literally, it doesn't have to be the visual card, ATM card, right? I'm just saying it just helps you to organize your design in a better way, right? So you can see that this person used the card, and the person did not use like the same color, depending on what you are designing. So it's able to like differentiate, right? So when you see this, you already know that, okay, the first card is different from the second card, same as the third card. So for instance, if you are familiar with a dashboard, on a dashboard, you get to see maybe a summary of it using a card, that rectangular thing that says, oh, okay, this is the total number of students that registered. Okay, these are active students. It shows you in a card, maybe the number, then the write up number of, then it shows you like that. So all those things helps you, what card a card helps you to categorize what your design. It helps with categorizing. It's easy for your users to read it if you plug everything on their faces. So imagine that there's a design that this one I just showed you now, getting started with crypto, everything is just on the face. The person, even the person's eye will just be on the same, because the way you need to also read about how users, how they read, is very important. You also know that how they read, how they see things. You need to see things from your user's perspective, and that's from the place of understanding them, right? Yes, thank you. Yes, Lizzie. So another thing is dialogue boxes. Now, all these things that I'm showing you, you guys are familiar with it. You guys would have seen it, especially if you are using a mobile app or a web app, or you are familiar with using any digital product. You would have seen it. You might not know what it is called, and that's why we are talking about it. So that, because you are growing as a designer, you need to know all these things. You need to be able to explain to somebody. You need to be able to explain to people. You need to be able to design something that works. So it's very important. Now, dialog boxes are pop-up windows that appear over the main screen to give users information or to ask them to make a choice. Yes, Mary, yes, exactly. Something like, maybe you want to close your app or something. They will ask you a question, are you sure you want to do this? There are prompts that they will ask you. Maybe you want to was maybe for instance on your social media app, right? You want to log out. I don't know if has any of you seen that thing before. You want to log out, then there will now be like a box that will appear and ask you that, are you sure you want to log out? Do anybody agree with me? Have you seen something like that? You want to log out maybe on your Facebook, then they ask you, are you sure you want to log out? So all these things, because why do you think this dialog box is important, or this thing is important. Sometimes it might be a mistake that somebody wants to close the app. So imagine that somebody that wants to mistakenly delete their account. You know that thing can be very annoying. Has it ever happened to you that you deleted your account by mistake? So imagine that there's no dialogue box to tell you that you are about to, or you mistakenly press something, or your user mistakenly pressed something on their app, and they didn't know that it was to delete something, and it just deleted like that. So imagine that the dialogue box is in place to tell them that, oga o, my user, you are about to delete your account, are you sure? Then you ask you yes or no, or some will use more personalized copies. So it will give you options like log out to confirm, or you want to log out, or you want to cancel, right? All these things. I don't know if you have seen that, or maybe on your app, maybe you are somewhere, maybe on a particular website or a mobile app. Then maybe it takes time. Then it's going to like ask question that, do you still want to stay or you want to leave, something like that. Even when you're not, the app is just inactive, and it will ask you, do you still want to stay? They want to be sure if you still want to stay on this app. Oh, sorry about that. So it's very important as a designer. All these things are important. Your dialogue, but you cannot just design something, especially something that has to do with security, or that has to do with money. They will not, users will not even come back. They will go to something that actually works for them, that actually keeps them in mind. So that's it. So I hope this is clear. I hope we are following. Please tell me you are following, so I know that all this thing is clear. When I ask you to design, or when I ask you to do something, or ask you questions, you're able to explain to somebody. You're able to explain, to show, when somebody show you that what is this, you're able to tell them that, oh, this is a dialogue box, this is a checkbox, this is this, or what's the, or they ask you to advise. Okay, we're designing something, advise us to what we use in this case. So it's very important. Thank you very much for following. Exactly. If you are making payments anywhere, I don't know if you have used another bank that doesn't, they will tell you to confirm, because are you sure that you are the one that want to make this transfer? They want to confirm that if you are sure, it's not that maybe it's a mistake. So all these things are important. Imagine that. So I've seen cases where people mistakenly recharge airtime. Maybe they want to transfer money, or they want to make payment, or they want to transfer, no, not transfer, to say they want, I don't know if it has happened to you before, where, or anybody close to you, or somebody that you know, when you want to maybe buy airtime, then you mistakenly enter 5,000. Don't you think that if there's a dialogue box, or there's a prompt to show you what you are doing, that are you sure that you want to make so payment to so number, do you think that people will make mistake? I feel that mistake, the mistake in buying airtime more than what you want to buy, will reduce if all those things are in place. If there's something to prompt you, to tell you that you are about to buy an airtime of 10,000 naira, whereas you wanted to do 1,000 naira, don't you think that mistake will reduce, or might not happen? So it's very important. Exactly. They will not put on their status, please, I need somebody to buy airtime and all that. I've seen it well. So yes, so all these things very important. Let's keep it. Now look at this. Log out of all your accounts. So maybe this person wants to log out, then there's a prompt. I don't know why it's not showing well. It's not showing here on my screen anyways. This is like a dialogue box that just shows that this person wants to log out of the account. Then the person can decide, yes, I want to log out. If the person wants to log out, then cancel if the person wants to cancel. So this is it. Okay, progress bar. From the name progress. Now, a progress bar is a visual indicator that shows how much of a task or process has been completed. For instance, there are some prompts that, or design that you want to maybe upload. For instance, when I want to upload my own slide on this platform for you to read, there was like a progress bar that was showing me okay, that it was in a circle, right? So it was showing it was going round, 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 round till we got to the point where the final point where my slide was uploaded. Let me tell you the ones I enjoy most. I enjoy the progress part that I enjoy the progress part that tells me that it takes me a certain minute or seconds to upload something. One tells me where I am currently. For instance, if it's 100%, it tells me okay, I'm on 10%, I'm on 20%, like that, like that. Not that you just give me a word and just be okay. Yeah, wait now. You just tell you that wait as we progress, or wait your transaction is processing or is progressing, something like that. But tells me that okay, this thing is on 10%, so I know that it's on 10%, or tells me how many minutes or seconds it takes for me to upload something or download something. All those things are very important. So you need to understand. So for example, in a fintech app, when you're transferring your money, you're transferring somebody money to your maybe cousin or somebody, a progress bar appears to show the status of the transaction from processing. You just see that processing, then the next thing completed. So it gives you a process bar to give you a clear idea. A process bar, a right good process bar should exact WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp backup. Yes. So a good process bar should show you, should give you a clear. Sorry, please, my laptop. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay. Sorry, ladies. Okay. Now, a good process bar should give you a clear idea of how much, how long that or the transaction will take or something. There should be a timing, or if you are designing, for instance, you are designing um you are designing something that you know that it will take your user 10 minutes. Let them know that this thing will take them 10 minutes, and let them see the progress of how far they've gone. So they know that oh, this is where I am and this is where I'm going. Oh, this is it. So it's very, very, very important. Can you see a different progress bar? It shows you. I don't know if you have filled maybe a particular maybe form that has like maybe three steps. Basically, you get to see okay, step one is done. Okay, step two is done. Then step three is done, like that, like that. You see different kind of what progress bar. Can you see the steps? The one that I talked about, the percentage that this person is currently on 91, is currently on 91. Can you see? It's different. So you need to find what works for your user. What works for your user. So next, I hope yes, yes, exactly. Now another one is tool tips. Now, tool tips are small or helpful text boxes that appear when you want to over or click on an element. Now, most times, there are some websites that, or yeah, there's some website that when you want to, maybe it's your first time using the app, they tend to tell you, okay, step one, or this is how you do this. Step two, this is how you can do this. This kind of, it shows you like a question or a chat kind of feel design, and tells you okay, this one is for this, and tells you like what all these things are for. Okay, the home bar is for you to do this, the send bar is for you to do this. It takes you like a step to step kind of guide on how things work on the website, on how you can use things on the website. So it mostly happens with website that you are on, you are just getting onboarded to, or you open or you created for the first time, basically most like for first timers. And there's some website that maybe it's just icon that is showing, but when you over on it, You get to see what that thing is. For instance, on Gmail, go and check it. Your reply icon button on your Gmail, if you are using web, basically, your reply button, you get, if you hover on it with your cursor, you get to see what that. So in case you don't know what that icon or what that button is, a tooltip will help you, give you more information about it, right? Then if your first time of using an app and you're not familiar with it, it also gives you like, okay, how to use the app, like a step to step guide on how to use each features on the app. Yes. So this is something like this. This is like a Gmail. You can see that this person over on a, there's this more icon. When you over on it, he or she overs on it, clicks on it, it tells you schedules get sent to be sent to at a particular time. Got it. It tells you what it is. Tooltips does not give information about logo. It just tells you if you are onboarded for the first time on a website, you've not used it before. It gives you like, it can give you like a summary of what each menu is, or give you a step to step on your first, maybe you want to make transaction, for instance, maybe your first transaction, maybe on a website you want to make transaction first time. It can give you like a step to step on how to make transaction. Or if you want to buy something on an e-commerce website, it can give you a step to step guide on how to successfully buy something. Do you get? You can download Figma on phone, but it's limited. You cannot design on it. It's just for maybe to view mobile version or to just have a look. You can't design. Okay, so now we'll go to the next one, your tab. Now tabs are clickable tabs. The word so tabs are clickable sections that let users switch between different view on content areas with the same page. For instance, on your mobile app or your banking app, you have home, you have transfer or whatever you have settings. So you moving from home to the next, that's a tab. You moving from home to the next, you're tapping a tab. That's home page, home tab, send tab, settings tab, or profile tab. So for instance, let me show you this. This is like maybe an account, maybe a social media account, right? So this person has selected posts. So a user can switch between reels, can when he moves on post, that he can click reels, then it shows that, oh, this person has selected reels, or the person selects photos. So you can switch from one menu and go to another. Can move from one place to another. So you move from one session to another session, right? So in a fintech app, you might have tabs labeled like account overview, transactions, and settings. So clicking on each tab changes the view to show different details without leaving the page, keeping everything neatly and organized. So it really spells out that, okay, we have this post. You show the layout that's supposed to be on post. If your user moves from post to reels, it shows every details or layout on reels. Your user can decide to move from reels to photos. It moves. It's just like, yes, let me check something. Just like Figma, sorry, I said Figma. Just like was it Instagram that she mentioned, that Waliat mentioned. On Instagram, you see, there's a down part of your tab, right, where you now get to click from. You see, when you click on home, my design is currently on home. I can move from home to search, from search to the plus icon, which is to either add a post, a story, a reel, or a live, or do a live. I can move to the IGTV to review sparks, and it shows me reels, and I can go through. Or I click on my profile, right? So all this is what that I mentioned for moving from one place to another. That's a tab. So it helps you organize information and make it easy for your users to navigate between different sessions. Yes, Facebook also, WhatsApp as well, can switch from one place to another. Sorry, please. Okay, another one is, okay, it's time for attendance. Please, can we put up the attendance before we continue? Let's take a break, stretch if you need to stretch, um drink water if you need to drink water. Yeah, I'm going to take water right now. Need water. So please take your attendance. Once you are done with attendance, you don't need to write. Don't write on the group. It looks like sometimes I used to feel like there's always this reverse psychology that I need to use on you. Because if I say don't write, that's when you will write. Please don't write. Don't what write that. Don't write that I am taking my attendance. Take your attendance and note to yourself that you are taking attendance. I'm coming. Let's take a break. I'll be back shortly. So the attendance is your on your Okay, how's the break? I have to take water and just quickly want something. So let's get started. Let's continue. Sorry, we are not just starting, anyways. So yeah, we stopped at tabs. Now we're going to banner. So banner is a big high catching area at the top of your page, that is top of your design, that shows important messages or announcements. It typically grabs the user's attention and provides a call to action. For instance, Jumia. If Jumia is doing Big Friday, there's this banner that you see on their website that get to see 50% off, shop now, blah blah blah, sales today, shop now, or Jumia Friday. Is it tech? Yeah, they used to do Jumia Tech Friday, yeah, Tech Week, or Jumia Black Friday. All those banner, that big banner that will just be there, that shows it's a big banner that is outside. But when next you go, you might not see it there because it has like a time limit, right? It's just for the, it's just to catch your users' attention, to know that there's something that is coming up or there's something that is up, right? Sometimes on the website, for instance, maybe on Incubator Hub website before now, we could see something like litter is coming soon, register now, then book a slot, that kind of thing. That's like a banner. So let's go to this design. So this design, the upper part, you can see that it shows that an event is happening. I hope my network okay. It shows that an event is happening, right? And after this event, you might not see it, you will not see it there again. Maybe there's another, there might not be another thing that will be there, right? You should please let people build, please. Okay, so the top part showing an information that is going to be an event, right? So it can be there after this event, it should not be there again. It can be, they can decide that they want, maybe there's another information that they want users to see or to catch their attention. So basically, you use banner to catch people's attention. Like I was using incubator, or for instance, if you want to have another event, maybe or we want to do maybe like what we had on Saturday, we could just put like a banner. So when anybody's visiting incubator up website, they get to see that, they get to see that thing without, even without designing a website for that program. Just put like a banner to tell them that, okay guys, so event is happening, LinkedIn optimization happening on the 21st of September 2024, and tell you maybe like a brief summary of it without having to design it, oh this thing maybe. Or they can view an agenda or view how like maybe the speakers and all that, if it's like a session, we should not drag anybody, please. Please. Let's listen. I'm seeing you people in the comment section. But let's listen. Let's not drag anybody. Okay. I hope we understand. Now I hope you understand what I said about banners. Because people are busy dragging people. People are dragging people. You know that. Okay. That's fine. Now let's move to the next, because we still have like steps to creating this is that our next class. Yes, like Figma complete. This person, I'm suspecting you. You're right. You're right. When you go to Figma website, you now get to see Figma config and all that. Okay. So now let's talk about grid and layout. Now a grid and a grid is a guide for how to arrange things on your screen. It keeps your design organized with the right amount of space between elements, making it easier for users to navigate. So I use an example that in a photo gallery app, for instance, your Instagram. Do you know that they use like a grid layout? Your photo site, or what's the site? You get to see different, or your gallery on your Instagram. You can see that there's a grid that shows one part of your picture, another, like that. Then when you now click, you get to see more, the full picture, that kind of thing. So in a photo gallery app, just like your gallery or your photos on your phone, you get to see like a grid. It displays all your photos in a series. Like you can just see it at a glance like this. You can see it at a glance. Then you can now decide to okay, I want to see it more. Like click on it and all that. So this helps you to see multiple photos at once in a clear and orderly way. Now the next one, icons and images. Icons and images. Icons are small symbols that represent actions or features. For instance, your home icon. On Instagram, did they write home there? But the icon is what? Home. So that's an icon. The search icon, the search on your Instagram, the icon is what? Search. There's a plus, that's an icon. And your profile, your avatar. So for instance, example, in your music app, whether you use Spotify or you use Boom Player or whatever Audio Mac, whatever music player you use, you might see a play icon that's like a triangular kind of thing to what, depending on how the app you are using, basically to start a song. You can pause it. Those things are icons. Pause them. You can also like, on Instagram, you can also like somebody's this. That's an icon. The comments, you can give comments, is an icon. You can send or more options. It's an icon. Yeah. So example of image, in your travel app, you might see pictures of different locations. Even on your Instagram app, there are pictures there. There are images. There are different images. You can see people's images, their pictures and all that. So you get to see a lot of things. Okay. So these are different icons. Even your Instagram is an icon. Can you see Instagram icon? You can use WhatsApp, different ones. These are just like some of it. There are lots. Your home icon and different icons. Now, accessibility. I'm going to call this out again. Accessibility is very important. That whatever you are building or you are designing, know that you have different kind of people that will use your app. Your app will be used by different people that you don't know. So including people with disability. And the world is evolving. The way people are really building stuff that will help people with disability. It's even at conferences. I attended Untitled Designer last month, and I was so impressed that they had someone that would do the sign language and all. It was like a thing for me, and I don't have disability, but it was a thing that it just shows that design community, they are they are concerned about everybody, and that's what a designer should be. You should be concerned for everybody. You should build for everybody, not it should not just be for this thing. Though there's some products that are restricted to certain maybe age and this thing, but whatever you're building, know that you include people with ability, people that maybe they have color blindness and all that and all that and all that, or people that cannot read well. When I mean read well, maybe they have to use their glasses and all that. So it's very important. So accessibility ensures that your product or website can be used by everyone, including people with disability. It involves it involves it involves designing features that makes it easier for everyone to access and interact with your content. For example, in a news app, accessibility features might include text to speech for visually impaired users. Maybe there could be like a part where your users, they can just listen to it. Maybe those that are visually impaired, they can just listen to it. Or you can have options for people that are having issues with maybe their sight, to bolding, to make it bolder. Especially maybe people that don't have glasses or something, let's use that word. To make it for them to read. So whatever you're building, um, for me, in dark mode, right? Because I don't like a lot of light. When I mean I don't like, I don't does not mean that I'm in darkness anyways. Like I don't like light, like especially if I need to maybe take pictures. There's this flash, it affects my eyes. Or sometimes maybe you need to put light directly in my eyes. I don't like light in my eyes like that. So I I tend to use dark mode to reduce the opacity. Or sometimes if you look at my laptop, I don't increase, I just use it. Some people will have to, if they are using my phone, if people are using my phone, they will have to like increase the brightness. That's how I like my thing done. And my phone is on dark mode. So there are different people, and that's why people are building light mode and dark mode. Not all companies, anyways, but some. So another one is animations. So animations are moving graphics or effects used to enhance user interactions and make the interface more engaging. In a banking app, when you complete a transaction, an animation might show a spinning icon that turns into a check mark. So I've seen website that, or mobile app that, when you maybe finally perform an action, there's a way the animation will change from that is spinning, then the next thing you just see mark. It shows that animation that does show it, instead of just you pushing it on their faces. The way there's this interaction that will happen, that oh, you have moved from this to this, oh, this is actually done. Some websites that are not static, that actually do animations, that they do little interactions and all that. Okay, did somebody ask a question? Okay. Oh, thank you, Victoria. People are doing well. Let me clap for you people. If you have to get this video, you come back to watch it. Now, documentation. Remember that I mentioned that in design system, you are not designing alone. Like, it's when I mean designing alone, you have to involve different people, your stakeholders. You have to involve your developers and all. So your style, your design system is not complete when you don't have documentation to actually explain how your product will work, your design system will work, how the components work, your decisions. Now, with your documentation, your developers will be able to understand how to use and implement your design system. They get to understand, okay, maybe your this is for your if something, maybe if your users are, they want to make payment, this is how it should look. Or if this is the state you should click, just gives you like guide on how to use every of your components to understand, so that they will not design something else or something you're not you should, because you should not assume. Just take your developers as your user, the user of your design, like what you are building, like they want to use it. So imagine that you are not there to start explaining, maybe when they are building already. Or most some developers that like working at night, and you're already sleeping and they need to deliver. So imagine they have to call you and say, Ruth, please, what you design, I don't understand, can you explain? But you have like a detailed information or a detailed guide on how to, well, you just go to the document and say, okay, this person, this is what she means there, this is what should happen when a user is doing this, okay, this is it. And I feel that even in your design itself, you should also put some rules, so that your developers will build what you want, the right thing that they're supposed to build. So it's very important. Thank you, Victoria, for responding to that. Now, the code snippets, you are not the one that is writing code, though. Please know that. So your developer is the one writing it, right? So a code snippet is a small part of reusable code that helps developer quickly build features or components without starting from scratch. So your code snippet, where if you want to, if your design system is like fully ready, your developer can just, maybe a component, maybe they've built something, any developer can just go and pick the code and just paste it and use it, instead of them now start writing code from scratch. So it's very important. Yes, favor, they have to be highly inclusive. Inclusivity is very key. I hope I got that very well. Same as accessibility, accessible, everybody, I need to include. That's very um yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this is like a code, this is like a code looks like, that kind of thing. Okay, we need to be fast. Steps to, now we've been talking about, design system is this, design system is that, this is what a design system is. Now we want to talk about, okay, well, as designers, what are the steps for us to take? What are the steps to take to actually create, I don't know why my notes, to actually create a design system? What are the steps to take? What are the steps you need to take as a product designer or an income product designer or a UI UX designer or a UI designer or wherever you are designer to create a design system? Number one, define your purpose and vision, and don't forget to involve stakeholders, your developers, the business owner, your product managers, and everybody that needs to be carried along, so that when you finish the complete this thing, they will not come and say, but this, and you have to carry them from time to time. Very important. And don't forget that you are building for the user, so you do your research, you get to know, okay, this, so you start by asking questions. So this is where you start laying the foundation for where you need a design system. Why do you need a design system in first place? You involve your key stakeholders from the beginning to make sure that the design system, don't forget, aligns. Yes, you are building for the user, but it aligns with the company's what? Overall goals. Very important. Now let's take a look at our case study. Let's go back to our case study. Let's look at Ebun as a case study. So let's say that Ebun is a product designer at maybe an e-commerce, or maybe a Jumia or whatever e-commerce platform, basically. Then she sees that there's a need for a unified design system, that is the company needs to have like a unified design system to ensure consistency across platform. Because imagine that they have like 100 designers, or maybe let's say 20 designers to start with, and they have different products, right? So, and there are still more products as well, and they don't have design system in place. And she thought about it that, okay, we need to actually put in place a design system that will help us to ensure consistency across all our platforms. Now I want to act like Ebon. So now I'm able. Let me say I'm able. So I begin to like think like, okay, I gather inputs from my stakeholders. I have like meetings with them. Okay, what are they? What ask questions? I include my product managers. That's my stakeholders. I include my project managers. I include my developers, my marketers, business developers, like those my branding guys, customer service guys or customer support. All those things, I involve them. Then I ask for their inputs and all that to know okay why, so that they understand why we want to do this. They have and also give their inputs. So you can do like a stakeholder meeting, and like I would like a stakeholder meeting to talk about now. For instance, the let me say the marketers or the branding guys can stress that, oh, they talk about the brand colors. It's very important. Maybe the brand color, they feel that they need to fix it or something. Or maybe developers want a system they can implement instead of them building from scratch. So you're also gathering information from them to know, okay, how you already know there's a starting point, right? Starting point that okay, there needs to be a unified system for consistency. Now you start asking questions. You ask your stakeholders and your developers, maybe they want something like where they can actually a system where they can just maybe take their code or something to speed up the development stage. So once the design system is ready, anytime they want to build anything new, they just pick it up and just enhance it or make it better based on what they are building, right? So that's very important. So Ebon needs to involve what as stakeholder. If you are as Ebon, see yourself as Ebon, you need to what involve your stakeholders to, and all this ensures that you align. Alignment is key with your what stakeholders. You can't hear me, please hear me in Jesus name. Hear me in Jesus name. Okay, now after the next thing, you already like define your purpose. You like you started like you've included, yes, Bookie, to make sure that you guys are on the same page. You've included your stakeholders from the beginning that okay, you need to do this and this and that, right? You review all current designs. So for instance, maybe let's use company. Let's say Incubator Hub has different websites. Now, a designer sees that okay, I think that it's time for us to make consistency across, but our website should kind of like be similar and easy for users to navigate and all that. Then we begin to audit. As Ebon, I begin to audit. So I will review all current designs, the patterns, components for my that my team have been using, identify what is working well and what isn't. Now, for example, if different pages on your on your app uses various button styles, you list them out. So imagine that on a just one website, just one design, you have seen like 20 buttons being used. That's not consistency. That's you need to like sit down, audit all the website, the currently existing product, digital product. You get to audit them. Now, for instance, let me say Ebon. So I as Ebon, I will conduct an audit of all my existing design across the e-commerce platform. Let's say Jumia. I will work with my other design team members. I will work with my developers. Please, oh, is the screen getting blur? Please let's confirm. Oh. I will work with my developers. I will work with my key engineers to identify inconsistency in buttons, in typography, in layouts, and I will gather feedback from users as well and interact with users, maybe through survey or through maybe one-on-one interaction. Those that use the platform to know, okay, how can I? What's your pain points? What are the things? What are the things that you feel that can be better? What is currently going on with you on the website? Do you get? Thank you. Okay. Now, another one, I hope we are clear on this, is create your style guide. Establish a set of rules for your visual elements, like your colors. You already have your primary color. The brand guys have provided your primary colors. Okay, you decide your primary color. You already know the company's primary color, the secondary. Then you decide those colors that you need to form. You after based on your audits and based on your the feedback you've gotten, right? You create a style guide that includes your color, includes your typography, your spacing, your layout. Then you work with your marketing team or probably your branding guys, if you have my branding guys, to ensure that the color the color palette aligns with the company. You know, every company have their own branding. They already have their, especially if you're a freelancer, let me use that word. They already have the color that they want to use. There's a different case if they don't have anything, because there are some stakeholders or some clients that will come, they don't know, like they just want to build something. Then you as your a designer will have to do your research. But lucky for you, you already have something in place that you can work with. So whatever you're building must what align with what is existing. Except you have other maybe you have like your table, you still have to what talk with the stakeholders. So you're not making decisions just I think this is wrong. You need to be clear. You need to pass your message and tell them why you think this can be better. Then everybody makes a decision. We agree and we move. Now, the next step after creating your style guide is to design reusable components. You create UI components like your buttons that can be usable across board. Your input field, that text field I mentioned, your drop downs, all those things that I mentioned earlier while we're doing our component, talking about components. Your navigation menu, your tab, your slider, everything, your component that can be used across board. You know that some things that can be used, like your text, your color, all those things can be used across board. So you get to like design it, and you ensure that there is flexibility enough to be able to use across different parts of your product. So if you have a design system and designer A is working on something, designer B is working on something, they will just go to the component, right, and pick it. Then you reuse it to their taste. So if there's something that needs to change, maybe based on a review of your design system and all that, the designer can go back to the design system and edit it, and it shows across board. So it's very important. Design a standard button that can be used for everything, for submit your form, buy now, all those things. There needs to be consistency. There are different kind of buttons, so you need to build all those buttons. So also, and that's why the documentation is very important, so they get to know, okay, where this thing is being used, why, what is the name of this, naming as well. What is this, what state, or what case scenario can this be used. So it's very important that all these are noted and being worked on. Okay, document everything. Documentation is key. So imagine that you join an organization and there's no documents for anything, you don't even know, like nothing is, like you have to start from scratch and start thinking, okay, how does this work, how does this work. But imagine that there's a document in place, or even you are as an existing designer, the design system or whatever is documented. It's very easy for you to pick up things and just work it out. So it's important that you want to document everything, the reason why you're making this decision, why this is the best. Because sometimes your stakeholders will shake you. They will text you, they can say that change this to blue. You should be able to, they should be able to see why this color is blue, why you've made a decision for using this color based on some stakeholders like data, like your data or data, that is, it should be that they like you to like talk about why they want to know that you're actually building for your users and you're not building for yourself, like you actually did the work, you did your research to ensure that. So some stakeholder can just tell you that I don't like red, I don't like green, I don't like this, I don't like that. You as a designer, it's in your own place to now state it, why decision is made, why you are making the decision, why this color is this, why that button is like that. So all these things are very important, and that's why communication is what key in everything. You need to communicate both in writing and in words. Okay, so test for accessibility. Do accessibility testing. Make sure your design works for everyone, including people with disability. This involves testing for things like color construct. There are some websites you can use to check color construct. I just need all these documents. I need to work on them. We need to work on a lot of things so that you guys can, at the end of the boot camp, you just go and just check extra materials basically. So make sure your design system works for everyone, including people with disability. This involves testing for things like color construct. There's a website you can use to check color construct, screen reader compatibility, and keyboard navigation. Example: ensure that users can navigate your app using a keyboard and your text is legible for users with visual impairments. So it's very important you do your testing. You can see that there's still, even your design system, you need to do testing, user testing. Do you see that? Very important. Another, this is important. Collaborate with what? Developers. Work closely with developers to ensure the component you design can easily be built and maintained in the code. Keep an open line of communication to solve any technical what problem. So it's very important that you work closely with what developers to implement your design across all platforms. You need to do regular check-ins, maybe between, like, ensure that this thing is in place, this thing can be done, it can be achieved. It's very, very important. Work closely with your developers. Okay, now, build a living design system. The truth is that a design system is never finished. It needs to evolve. It's a continuous process. You need to get like feedback, and you know that research, you need to like when I mean, like, it doesn't have to, that when you build finish, after you've done blah 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 and all that. But I'm just saying that build something that is that build something that you can go back to. So you're not building something that is just there static, that it cannot evolve. Even we as human, from when we were giving birth to this very moment, we evolved. Maybe before you started your career in tech, or before you started to join tech, to start your tech career, you started from somewhere, so you've evolved from where you were till now. So your design system should be like that. Your design system should be able to evolve. Your design system is never finished. I don't want to say there's no finished man, there's no finished woman, because it's going to mean another thing. But I'm just saying that your design system give room for what? There's room for iterations to make it better. Don't just stop there and say that we have done design system and that's all. There's no room again. I'm already, I've done it. That's all. There should be continuous update to know as the product evolves. You will not be surprised that when you build something that works currently, then you get feedback, maybe based on what you built. You got feedback and all that. You can always go back to your stakeholders and gather the data that you've talk about the data you've gathered from a user or from your research and all that, and discuss about it. Then everybody, we are aligned, we are on the same page. Then we update the design system, and it goes across board. So it's very important, right? As your fintech app or your fintech whatever design system grows, you need to add new components or adjust existing ones. Keep your design system flexible to accommodate these changes. You need to what? Keep your what? Design system flexible to accommodate these changes. You should be able to go back to your design system and make changes, and it should reflect. Not something that after you've built finish, maybe you did not make components, you did not make it as components, you have forgotten. Then maybe your designer just went to pick it and was just using it. It will not reflect. So all these things are there. There are steps, and they are very important to create a design system that works. All right. Then final one is promote adoption. Share your design system with your team and explain its benefits. Encourage everyone to use it consistently so that the whole product remains aligned and cohesive. You can hold a meeting, you can decide to hold a meeting to talk about the design system when it's out, or you create a tutorial to show your team members on how to use the design system, that is your designers, other designers, if yeah, maybe new designers or whatever designers, or your old team, to show them how it works. So it's very important. So um these are examples of a design system, but we are going to look at this one. I hope we can hear me very well, sha. So these are examples of a design, like examples of a design system. We have www.designsystem.com. We have design system for figma.com. So I don't know if we have time to check it out. I don't know if I have time to check it out because I have one already. I have one already on my Figma. Okay, so let's see. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? I'm moving to something. I'm moving to, what can you see? Tell me, what can you see on my screen? Tell me what you can see on my screen. You can't see anything. No, you should be able to see something else out of the screen. What's going on? Let me try to share again. So can you see anything now? What's going on? What can you see? Okay. Okay, so now design system for Figma. Like I said, there are some design systems that are already open source that you can pick from, that you don't need to necessarily start from scratch and start creating colors and all that. You just pick it to what you want to do. But don't forget to do your research as well. So we have design system for Figma. This is like a collection of the design system for Figma from all the globe, backed by code. Now, there are a lot. We have AWS amplifier. We have and you can download the Figma kit anyways to use on Figma, and we have the document as well, documentation. So we have the editable UI kit. We have an Emilia, wow, design system. We have ANT design system, Atlassian. That one I showed you the first class design system, backstage design system. So you can decide to just download, and this is a lot. Can you see that it's a lot? So you don't need to start building from scratch, except well, if you want to, anyways. But this has made your work more easier, right? You can just pick one and just work with it to make your own design system and make it better. So let's look at Chakra UI. So can you see my Figma file? Yes, they are free. It's an open source. Now let's go on Figma. So this is one of the design system. Yes, they are free. I just downloaded this Chakra UI. It's on Figma. Now look at this. This is the colors. Can you see the colors? They had to name it. Can you see this is black? Just look at my follow my cursor. This is black. So let me look at it. So let's say that I have downloaded this and I want to use it for ladies in tech, right? I can just come here and edit it, change it to just look at me, oh, pink. Let's say this is pink. Is this pink enough? Okay, guys, let's have it. We have pink already. So my color, I've changed it to pink. This color to pink. So you can also pop. So if you want to be able to use it, you can publish it, right? I don't know why this thing is blur. I guess it's so before you are able to use it is if you publish it. Then when you publish it, you move it to another file basically. But I can't do all that because okay. Now this is the text. Yes, there is. Can you see that the text here? Guys, did you notice something? That when I change this color, pink, it changed the text. The text was black. Let's go back. Let's revert so you understand what I'm saying. You can see the. Can you see what happened here? Ah, you should not be angry. Sorry for that. Sorry. Let me pick pink. I just picked. I just wanted you guys to understand. I just wanted you to understand, change it. So I just wanted you to understand how it works. That you can actually change something and it reflects on everything that you've used that thing to do. That's what I'm just trying to say, right? So I'm not just trying to. I'm just showing you how it works. Okay. Now this is another one. These are your tabs. I don't know why this is slow. Lots of time. Oh. I get. I understand the author. Can you see our tabs? So our tabs. Our tabs. So these are all the colors available here. I can change my color. I can go to my color library and change it and change that background to pink or black. Where's my pink? Let's use this pink. My tabs. I don't say before people can ask me that why did I use pink? Before people shade me that why did I use pink? If it's that it was already if it was an asset or okay. Can you see everything is an asset here? I can just drag. If I need anything, I can just drag it here. Can you see? I can just drag and use it. Can you see it? My buttons. Can you see it? I can drag and use my card, my checkbox label, my icon. Everything's already here. Our time is gone. I said we should quickly do a simple. Let's quickly do something. Okay. Let's choose iPhone. Can change my font, the size. Actually, I can change it. It's already here. I can change it to maybe a bigger size. I want a bigger size. What are you lost? Don't be lost. I'm just showing you how a design system work. Please don't be lost. You shall not be lost in Jesus' name. Before people start asking me that how did I use a grid system? Let me just don't worry. Let me just go back before people start asking me. I'm just trying to show you how this guy works. You can search input fields. Or text field, whichever name it is, text field. Don't worry. Next week, please get ready. We are all going to work on. Please, and nobody touch anybody's this thing. But next week, I'm going to talk. Please go to www.figma. What is text field though? Can't find. Okay, text area. No. I want a text field. Can change my background to my background zone wise. I can change it to gray, whatever gray color or whatever color I want. Can change it. So basically, this is how a design system works. A template you can use to make your design work. So you can update it or just use it to. You can just pick if you are working on something. You can just pick one of it and use it for whatever design you want to use. So thank you. Let's move back to our class. Let's go back to our slide. Okay. Any question? A design system is not just a collection of components. It's a shared language that empowers. Who is touching my screen? That empowers teams to create consistency or to create consistently remarkable experiences. So a design system is very good for it makes your work faster. So you don't need to even start designing from scratch. You could pick an open source design system, work with it, do your research, work with it, collaborate, and do all those things that you need to do. So thank you very much. If you have questions, We have like how many minutes? 5 minutes to go. If you have questions, anyways, I'll change my picture in case you did not notice. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask. We have like 5 minutes to go. Elizabeth, you said please what's if you have questions, let's take questions. 5 minutes to go. So please, if you have not downloaded if you have not downloaded Figma, please do as soon as possible. It looks like today's class, people understand everything. I know it. Wow. Okay, please drop a story. What did you learn today? What did you learn? What's your key takeaway from what I have taught you today? What's your key takeaway from what I have taught you today? What do you mean by tab layout? If you mean tab layout, that I want to be sure what you mean. Is it that you put the tab, then where you now place it or something? Tab is tab. That's what I know. All of it that I've downloaded, I don't know how to use it. I will send tutorial. You use tutorial to learn it, because if we say that we cannot, so we can only, there's a little we can do to like teach you. There's a beginning class or beginning stage. Now you have to now go and do your research to see how it works. We can only tell you, okay, this is how to do, this is what to do, this is how to use some things, but we cannot like hold your hand and say. So what we can do is share videos with you, then you watch on how to use some tools. That's how we learn as designers. The code snippet is just the code written for your component or your design. So it's done by the developers. Please, so it's not you that will go and write code, but if you can write code, it's fine. But yes. So what are your key takeaways before we go? I want to make sure that we are on the same page. So whatever assignments we'll be giving, I'll let you know. But I don't think I want to give an assignment for this class. Maybe next class we'll do what we want to do, then give an assignment so that you see. Thank you. Please watch videos on how to work with Figma. Just go on YouTube, Figma, how to use Figma. Then it shows you, or even go to Figma itself, it'll show you a tutorial on how to use Figma, so you can learn like that. Okay, I'm familiar with that, but I don't know what they are called. Now you know. Thank you very much. Okay, a design system creates room for actualizing creativity. A design system component includes color palette, typography. Well done. Nice. You can use the web version of Figma anyways without downloading. Yes, you can. But why don't you want to download anyways? Yes, design system make your work easy. And thank God there's design system we can use. You don't need to start building from scratch. A lot. You can use the web version of Figma instead of downloading. Tosin, I got that already. Hope you got that. Designing a usable, yes. So we have 1 minute to go. Thank you very much, everybody. It was such a nice time with you all. We're looking forward to next class, which will be a practical. I'm happy that we're able to clear out like everything that I need to clear out on this. So we're going to maybe before next class, if we need to download anything, I'll let you know so that we can work together. So thank you so much for your time. Please don't forget to go back, digest what you've learned today, practice, keep practicing. After practice, do the actual work. Don't just practice. How do you learn? You actually do it after you've practiced it. Now do like real work. So practice, talk to somebody, be accountable to somebody. Don't just sit down. Don't be tired. Let's do this together. I'm looking forward to is it inaugurating you that we use now, welcoming you guys to Design World officially. So it's been a long ride really, and I'll say you guys are doing well. Like you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely evening and see you on Friday. Bye, everyone. Bye, 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 bye. See you, see you, see you, see you. Bye.